Welcome everyone to what I'm going to consider a very historic episode of Vinny Makes the Hall of Fame Case for ... because I, Kirk Buckner, Vinny, I think you know this, my partner Vinny Lospinuso, obviously if you clicked on this, you already know his name because he's America's favorite sports historian of any age. I'm going to say that. Vinny, this is history because this is the last one of our episodes. I think we've done about 50 at this point. I don't know how many. But it's the last one since Not Hall of Fame has officially accepted the offer from the city of Seattle to move the headquarters from Winnipeg there. That's the real reason I'm moving to Seattle.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
not bad. You get to come to America.
And
they'll make sure to
yes,
they'll make sure to welcome you with open arms.
I appreciate that. And that's the real reason. It's not because my wife got a promotion there. That just happened to coincide with everything.
Yeah.
Today, Vin, we're in your wheelhouse. Vinny always does a phenomenal job looking at former players, but you're a rare breed, and I don't mean that as a shot. Vinny likes to not just peel back the layers; he likes to peel back the layers of the layers, and nothing gets him more interested than looking at contributors, the people behind the scenes. Am I correct in that?
No question. I think as much as I love talking about old players, talking about old players kind of boring after a while. So I like doing the non-players or these other ones that are more interesting to me because I often find that contributors in this kind of role sometimes are more impactful than the players because you look at like these many inventions. You could look at many inventions, for instance. Those people may not be talked about in the history books, but their legacy lives on. You think of, the printing press. You think of the elevator. You think
how
of
about what you did. You did a great one on Frank Zamboni.
Yeah, I did one on Frank Zamboni. Again,
Yeah.
you know his name. Or you look at like Levi Strauss, again, creating
You're
the
not
jeans.
doing
Like,
that one.
no. I'm saying that there's examples of these big innovators and whatnot. Some are well known, some not very well known, but at the same time, they did something that in many ways changed the world. And I think this one is another one of them in terms of changing a lot of things for the sports world.
Okay.
Now, first off, before I get into this is a request from my good friend Tom Justin, who works with Bengals Gym. I saw him in Canton.
Oh,
Great guy. Knows history very,
you
very
met him.
well. I met him in Canton. I met him in Canton with all the
Okay,
Bengals
okay.
fans.
I mean, it's this. I obviously I get the Cincinnati connection. It's not
Yeah.
Bengals Gym, is it? Is it somebody? It's
No, it's Tom Justin. It's his buddy.
Tom Justin. Okay, I think he follows me also.
Yeah, Tom's great.
Yeah.
Tom, I have nothing but positive things to say about him. Seriously,
Okay,
I'm not
great.
just saying
Yeah.
that for him. I mean it.
No. Obviously, I just know him as sort of the Bengals as one of the Bengals fans, but then sometimes I forget. There's other things around football other than football because football is always sort of like my bread and butter, obviously. Speaking of which, actually, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't think you're making a case for him for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, are you?
Well, I'm making a case for him for the Colorado Hall of Fame as well,
Colorado Sports Hall of
but
Fame.
as the Baseball Hall of Fame and the Colorado Hall of Fame.
Okay. So why don't we start off with why I even mentioned the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Because I didn't even know, or football rather, I knew who Bob was with his work in baseball. I did not know that he was the inaugural owner of the Denver Broncos. I had no idea.
No, he grew up in Denver in 1918, so he's like a true Colorado kind of guy, like true Colorado. Was also a U.S. Navy pilot and was also the son-in-law of Edwin Johnson, who was a senator and also a governor of Colorado. So he is pure Coloradoan. He is as Colorado as Rocky Mountain oysters.
Man, what's a Rocky Mountain oyster?
Bull testicles.
Oh,
Deep fried
that's,
bull testicles.
I think that's what we call them here as prairie oysters.
Well, Rocky Mountain oysters is what I know
Yeah,
them as.
a shout out to our webmaster Ted, who because I think on a previous podcast I said prairie oysters was the cow shit, and then he corrected me and said later on he just sent me a message. No, no, that's cow testicles. Like, oh,
It's true. It's the true form of meatballs.
when you're Italian, you know your meatballs.
Yeah, it was not in that way though. But
I'm not here to judge, even if you do, but original owner of, look at me getting the train back on track. Original owner of the Denver Broncos. I think to your point, or where you were going with this, and sorry, I sort of took your steam there when we bull balls threw me off. Okay, I mean I don't know what to tell you. Uh,
yes,
he's been fighting to get like professional sports in Denver for a long time, and
yeah, he
this was
was
that was
he
his first
he
big
was with the
picnic,
Denver
right?
Bears, which was their big AAA team that they have from 47 to 62, and they
Huh?
were one of the most successful franchises. He was actually named Executive of the Year twice during that time,
Mhm.
and he knew that he wants to bring the majors to Denver. So in a bind, he said, "You know what? Let's try an NFL team." But they said, "Nah." Oh wait, the AFL. Okay, let's try this. So we'll be part of the Foolish Club. Eventually, he sold them off the following year, but he's the reason why the Broncos happened. So Bob Howsam, the reason why the Broncos happened was because he tried to get baseball there. So he thought a good way to do it was to form a football team, and that's what happened.
He built Mile High, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, that was him. The minor league baseball park that the Bears were have, they renovated, they expanded, and it became Mile High Stadium. He created Mile High Stadium along with his brother and his father, but he was the
Right.
spearheading guy behind it.
But
So
before we
he
go in,
created the famous Mile High Stadium. That's
yeah,
him.
yeah, before we go into baseball, what I couldn't find, I didn't look that hard. I figured because you know the answer right away. When did he sell the Broncos?
61.
Oh, well, that's soon. Okay,
Mhm.
I didn't
But
realize.
there was more to it at that time too, I should mention. Around that same time, he created the Continental League,
Uh,
and that was a potential third major league.
in
Never
baseball.
really took, yes, it didn't really take off for anything. But the MLB said, this actually giving us some pressure. So this was following the expansion era, and of course, the relocation era. Thanks to Lou Perini, who I made a case for. Please go check that out
Mhm.
in the Bucknerverse, of course.
Thank you.
They said, you know what? Because of this, and because of what Bob Howsam did in creating the Continental League, that forced expansion for the MLB from 16 to 20 teams. So
Mhm.
Bob Howsam, because he wanted to get a baseball team in Denver, Colorado, got the MLB to expand and create. And this is just the beginning, just the beginning of
And
his
we should
legacy.
mention it was just basically the threat and everything that he was doing. The Continental League never came into existence,
No, it didn't.
which is fascinating in itself. Just the fear there, because I'm trying to think. So those four expansion teams have been what the second Washington team, the Angels. Who am I forgetting?
The Astros and the Mets,
Okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, so that would have been
or
promising.
the Colt 45s, as it was originally called.
I got to find a Colt 45 hat, and
Do it.
I'm not talking about the beer that or malt liquor. I don't know why it's called malt liquor. Someone a beer smith will have to explain that to me. That Billy D. Williams used to shill. But anywho, he gets more into baseball, and he's hired in what 64 during the season for the St. Louis
60.
Cardinals.
Yeah. He
64,
was
right?
an advisor a couple of years before because of August Bush Jr., who I think should also be inducted.
Oh, hold on. It was a Budweiser,
Yeah, because Bush owns Budweiser. So
right?
what happened was in 1964, there was concern about how the Cardinals are going to finish. I mean, we have the Phillies right here, and so he fired Bing Devine. Goodbye, and
Right, because
then Bob
Cards
Howsam
had a
came.
losing record at that time, correct?
Yeah, yeah, They were well behind the first place Phillies at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They were fifth in that. They were fifth in the National League. They were 9 games behind the Phillies, and there was true questions. But he got in. He was the one that decided to make some little decisions, and they won 30 of his last 44. And on the last day of the season, the Phillies, and then, of course, the Cardinals barely won the pennant on the last game of the day of the season. And then the World Series came, and after winning the 7th game, they won the World Series. So yeah, Bob Howsam, after he came in, the team won. The reason
Well, to
why
be
is because of
fair, though, how much did he really have to do with it? Because did he make a lot
a
of take
lot.
work? Okay.
He made
What? What am I missing here?
Lou Brock.
Wasn't Lou Brock
He,
already there?
no, he traded for him.
You traded for Lou Brock.
No, sorry. It was Divine got Lou Brock,
Okay.
but he was on the troll and kind of brought him into the scene, but he didn't make that many adjustments. However, I think the culture that brought in made a big change. But
Because the things he did afterwards helped them win the 67 World Series or 68.
67, they went to the World Series in 68. And then how some,
But he was already gone.
that,
But
yes,
he helped build that legacy. And we've seen that before with like Pat Gillick and just like building things, making teams better. So
oh,
he should
yeah.
get some credit there. But then he got that offer to sort of like take over the reins in Cincinnati,
Well,
where
there's some more too, because he's
oh,
also the
okay, go
reason
on.
why
Sorry about
Red
that.
Show, Red Schoenheis became the manager because of him. He
Okay.
also traded away Bill White and Ken Boyer for more pitching help. In fact,
Mhm.
the reason why Bill White is going out of his way to make sure Bob Howsam does get in is because he's still salty that he got traded. That's the reason why. I'm not joking.
Bill
But he
White's still
got it.
alive, I believe.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to do what he can to just bar him, which I
And
think is very petty.
and for people aware, so Bill White also made history as the first African American to run the league when he took over as National League president.
He'll get a case soon, but he should stop
Well,
the pettiness.
but I want to sort of like because some people may not know why. Well, just Bill White being salty might have a negative impact. So I just
Yeah,
want to put that in that perspective.
but because of the trade for Orlando Cepeda and Roger Maris, they again won the World Series in '67.
Hmm.
And what happened was Francis Dale purchased the Reds, and Howsam said, "You know what? You want to be our new GM? Okay." They won the World Series then, but because of that, I would still say he did it. But then his true impact really came into play.
But
The
before we go
big
in there,
red,
if I could, because I know where we're going to go into like two massive trades, but just in terms of the whole history. So they already had. So I want to give credit, not credit where it's due. So Cincinnati already had Pete Rose, Tony Perez, Johnny Bench. So they had three linchpins, but obviously that wasn't enough. So
no.
what? So I think. Well, I know where I want to go next, but it's your show. So go on. Tell everyone what he did.
Well, he promoted Gary Nolan, Don Gullett, and Wayne Simpson to the majors.
Mm-hmm.
He also replaced He also decided to replace Dave Bristol with Sparky Anderson, who he knew with the Reds and the Cardinals.
An
He
unknown
also
commodity at the time,
Mhm.
because I just read a book by Keith O'Brien. I'm just going to promote that about this great biography on Pete Rose called Charlie Hustle: The Rise and Fall of Pete Rose, and that was not well received by media at the time. And I encourage everyone to go get that book. I got to read it. It's phenomenal. It actually sort of helped me indirectly prep for this.
Oh, never mind. I just saw that he's already been in the Colorado Hall of Fame. Never mind. For some reason I thought he wasn't, but
Okay.
he's already in that. But he should be in Cooperstown. But let me continue what I'm saying. He got Dave Concepcion. He also
Mm-hmm.
got Ken Griffey, and he also got Alex Johnson. But there was two massive trades that really changed things.
Mm-hmm.
First off, in 1971, he traded Hall of Famer and ultimate gatekeeper Joe Morgan from the Astros. No, I will not let that go, Joe. I know you're not with us anymore, but
Well, you
uh,
traded for. You didn't trade. Yeah.
traded for Joe Morgan from the Astros, and he also traded for George Foster
Mm-hmm.
from the Giants, who won
52
MVP
home
that year.
runs in 77. 76?
Yeah,
76. Okay, yeah. Yeah, which in the 70s, that was a pretty goddamn big deal, hitting 52 home runs. That wasn't happening every day.
no, no,
Yeah.
but I guess that's not good enough. I guess.
Well, those two deals and then the development of the minor league system and the drafting of Concepcion, uh, someone who that might be an interesting Hall of Fame case in its own right.
I'm big on him. I'm really
Yeah,
big on him.
yeah, Concepcion, just a
Mhm.
phenomenal, consistent player. Maybe not a Hall of Famer, but
He should be.
well, but you know what you got. I mean, like he was that version of my '80s guy, Tony Fernandez.
Yeah, like and Howsam was a true god. Like he had more authority than any other general manager in the league. He was
Oh,
very
did he?
hands-on.
At the time. Okay, so
Oh
like
yeah,
the owner left him alone.
yeah. But I will also say that, I think another reason why I think they still have some things against him is because the Reds were more conservative when it came to labor relations,
Mm.
but at
Well,
the
they do
same
it as a
time,
small market team because that eventually sort of like took them down.
yeah, I mean, I can understand why. I'm not
Yeah.
going to hold that against him. I know that definitely plays a role into probably why he's not in. I don't care. I don't care about that.
Was Howsam ever considered? Did he ever make any kind of committee final?
I think he made it as like once or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure.
Thought he did, but I couldn't find it. And again, I just figured you'd know. My
Either
bad.
way, either way, he wasn't on the one most recently.
Okay.
And then he later retired in the 80s, and then he became the Colorado Baseball Commission. He was right
Oh,
there, and he finally achieved his dream after decades and
okay,
decades and
yeah, yeah.
decades.
Right, to get the Rockies
He
there.
brought he brought the Rockies to the MLB
Yeah.
because of what Bob Howsam did. He achieved his dream. And you say what you will about his case, there is nothing wrong with achieving your dream, especially if it
Oh, wow.
takes you your entire life. By the way, this happened when he was like in his 70s. He pushed his entire life to make that happen.
Was he alive to see the first pitch at Coors?
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he died in 2008. So he got a whole
Oh,
15 years and even got to see that same team go to the World Series. Granted, did they win? No. But the fact that
yeah.
even happened, like, come on. That is truly
Hmm.
a guy that was Colorado to the very, very end.
Hmm.
He is in the team. He's in the State's Hall of Fame. My mistake for before. And I know, of course, there's some people that probably question how good Colorado is. The fact of the matter is this is a man that was true Colorado and did what
Well,
he always wanted to do.
he was
And
Denver
along the
and
way,
Colorado through and through, right? I mean, I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your steam here, but just sort of like living, at least until tomorrow or next 2 days, Winnipeg. You just sort of like know what a franchise can mean to something, or what sports can mean to a city. Yeah, I see it more in a place like this than I would in Toronto per se. But again, it's still a high degree. Denver,
yeah,
it's a big thing. There's a lot of
it's
joy that he brought
it's a
indirectly.
Colorado. It's Colorado in the 1910s. It's not like Colorado of today. Again, people were more expanding out west, but at the same time, he
Mhm.
was really, really new. He was very, very ahead of the curve because of the predicament that he was in, and
Right.
he helped grow. He grew baseball. He grew football. He was what you would really, truly see as an ultimate contributor. He truly did contribute so much to so many people, whether that's championships, bringing in new cities, a chance to have their own team, whether it's New York and DC getting a team, or even LA, or even Houston getting a team because of what he did, or even the Reds getting their dynasty, or the run that the Cardinals had, establishing a culture for them. Again, his fingerprints in terms of just changing and making people's lives better and truly making those experiences for everything else. Him, whether it's in Colorado or Houston or St. Louis or Cincinnati, what have you, he did whatever he could to make other people enjoy what he enjoyed. And you know what? That's honestly more impressive than many people are already in Cooperstown. He sure deserves Cooperstown, no question in my mind. He should have been there ages ago. Just shame that he won't be alive to see it, but that should not stop his children or grandchildren or even great grandchildren from enjoying this honor. Get him in, plain and simple.
And that very well might happen. All right, Vinny, as always, thank you so much. Thank you again for being part of this little history as the final Vinny Makes the Hall of Fame Case 4 in a show that is, oh my God, duo national. Because next time I will be an American. Well, not really, but I will be.
Yeah. Well, you get your green card, right?
For me?
You getting your green card?
I'm getting a spousal visa.
Well,
I guess that's sort of like indicates that I did not, that the city of Seattle did maybe not sort of like ask me to come. But if I say it enough times, it might be true.
It happens a lot in this country, so don't worry.
Yeah, amazingly, I'm going to try to come legally. And with I hear in your country, like, why am I bothering? But that's another story for another time.
You know, people online usually say that, but in reality, it's more so the other way around.
What, coming illegal Americans coming to Canada? I don't
Like
think so.
people say, people saying, "Oh, I don't like this. I'm going to move to Canada." They just say it. It doesn't happen. When in reality, it's the other way around.
This could go in a political discussion, which I'm not going to have.
Oh no, I'm just saying in general, they could complain and they say, "I'm going to move to Canada."
I will agree with you. All right, fuck, we're here. I will agree with you. If you're somebody in the States and you don't get the president you want, and you keep saying, well, I'm moving to Canada, and you don't do it, what are you doing? Shut up.
Yeah.
like just, especially if you're a rich celebrity and you can afford to do it easily.
Looking at you, Miley Cyrus.
Is she one of the ones who said that before?
Yeah, she's still in America. She's been in America for years now. I know I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just
this is not a right-wing platform. This is just me saying, just do what you're gonna say you're gonna do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to give that piece in there. But either way, we're gonna get Bob Howsam in.
All right. With that, wherever you are, wherever you may be, make today count, regardless of what country you're in. Canada, USA. I don't know if anyone else from any other country would watch this, but sure. Make it count no matter what.
See ya.
All right, later.